Okay, the Xbox Series S, aka Lockhart, could be revealed this August. And joining us today for this story is Chadley. Thanks for jumping on board this week, Chadley.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're definitely happy to have you. It's fun. That last story was very interesting. Before we get into this story, I just want to preface it by saying that these are rumors, and we won't know more until later this year for sure about the specifications of this model and everything. So this is pulled from a story from, I think, maybe Tech Radar. So most are speculating that Project Lockhart will be a diskless, slightly less powerful Xbox Series X. And it's allegedly only going to have 4 teraflops of processing power with a maximum of 7.5 gigabytes of usable RAM, compared to the 12, that's 3 times as much, 12 teraflops GPU and 13.5 gigabytes of RAM on the Xbox Series X. Those numbers come from the Project Lockhart mode specs found in this week's Microsoft Game Development Kit code, and that could mean the console could be pushing 1080p graphics instead of the full 4K like the Series X. But that's all rumor and what people are assuming. And then also, it wasn't mentioned in our notes here, but it's going to feature the same CPU, allegedly, as the Series X, but it's going to be underclocked and hindered so that it can't reach the full potential that the Series X does. So I guess the first question I want to ask you guys is, do you think that because of this, how much less powerful it's going to be, where the PS5 versions are essentially 2 versions of the same thing, just one doesn't use a disk drive and the other does. Do you think that this is going to be much cheaper than the PS5s?
I mean, I would hope so. If it's used, the PS5 diskless system is the same specs as the PS5, but this is going to be less powerful than the actual Xbox Series X.
Right.
That will, potentially, and the rumors are the diskless PS5 is going to be cheaper than the PS5 with the disk slot.
Right.
So hopefully this diskless Xbox is a lot cheaper than the diskless PS5.
Yes. I think that too. I really hope that it is, because it seems like a lot less powerful, especially being an Xbox One X owner. This seems like a very marginal upgrade. And yeah, I hope that it's cheaper.
Maybe they're just because it feels like they're shifting into this ecosystem where they just have this Xbox Series line. So that this Xbox Series S may just replace the One X. So that Apple will come out with new iPhones, and they come out with a new iPhone, but it's the same exact one as the last year one. I feel like it's that kind of scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard that actually in a lot of different sources, that they're sort of switching to that, here's just, it's not totally different. You can still do all the same things on it, but this is just the newer model with a different camera on it. If you want to have this newer model and your contract's up, they're even doing that. I don't know if they're going to if they've announced that for the new systems, but they're doing that
the rental or the
rental.
the financing. It's
yeah,
more
the
of a financing program.
But Charlie, do you think it's going to be cheaper?
Yeah, I mean, it only makes sense that it would be cheaper. I mean, I would hope that it's going to be... I mean, I wouldn't say it's the Wii price cheaper, but I mean, if what we're seeing as far as specs, the rumored specs and everything, I would hope that it's not going to be a very small margin of difference between the Series X and then that same small margin with the PlayStation systems. I don't know. I feel the more and more these new generations of systems are coming out, because we've seen it with the Xbox, we've seen it with the PlayStation 4, where they have their original console that comes out, and then they come out with this premium version of the console. And I think with this iteration, they're both going in the same direction of, oh, here's the Series X, and we're going to have the Series S. They're both going to come out at the same time. so you can choose which one suits you better. Like for me, and for instance, I don't own a 4K TV. I don't own any of that stuff. Like I'm still on 1080p TV and stuff. So for me to go buy the Series X, I'm already bottlenecking myself from being able to see it the best way possible. And if I have another system that's cheaper that says, oh, well, it can perform almost as well because we're keeping the resolution down on purpose, like you can save some money and still get a good experience from these same games with a cheaper system. So like for me, it would make more sense to get the Series S than it would the Series X. Same way with the PlayStation 5. If they plan on doing sort of a similar strategy with the discless version where they want to trim it down a little bit to save money, like that would entice a lot of people that are not like a hardcore gamer that's like, I gotta have that 4K TV, I gotta have that 8K TV
oh my gosh.
type of thing. So obviously you're gonna have the hardcore gamers want to get the best, they want to get the best, the more expensive PS5 because they know that that's not going to be hindered in any way. Same way with the Series X, like people are going to buy it. Like we already know this. Like they're not. It's a no-brainer. Like if you want the Series X, you're going to go get it. So, but then the Series S is just that. It's a better enticement for those that don't really want to spend all that money, but still get somewhat of a good experience from the new generation of the consoles. So
yeah, totally. Like people who definitely want to play the next gen games, but like they don't really, it doesn't bother them that like, maybe the draw distance is like not quite as far or something like that. Or like, the lighting effects, like it's, Iron Man's helmet's not as shiny. Like it's, I get that. Like I definitely know gamers who they don't care about stuff like that. They're like, I just want the experience. So I think that it's a smart move on Xbox's part, especially if they undercut the PS5 by like
and a lot of people just play one or two games a year. Like Fortnite doesn't need to have crazy graphics or like Call of Duty and stuff like that. They could just work off the prior gen or the prior software. And I think the Xbox Series or Xbox One X, like this will be like a revision to that as opposed to a brand new model. And like Xbox's whole like theory is like all the games are going to work on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. So it's all the same games. It just might not be the ideal settings or the top settings on some of them.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's especially from somebody like me who usually buys every console. This new Lockhart potentially being cheaper. Like if I, for example, want to have access to Halo, like, and there's usually that delay between when it comes out on console and when it comes out on PC. Like if I want to play Halo like right away, like maybe, I guess it's coming out on the One X, so that's not the best example.
Yeah.
But if I want to play a next gen Xbox exclusive game right away, but I don't want to drop all this money to get like the high end system, like, but I do want to get the PS5, like maybe the Lockhart is a good like pairing to that, so that I can buy both more easily. It doesn't hurt my wallet so much.
So who I think this is for like the more casual market. And also people that bought an Xbox One, like day one edition, and never upgraded to Xbox Series or Xbox One X or Xbox One S. So they just want a slightly more powerful console, just have a better experience than what they're getting on their Xbox day one edition.
Right. Which is how old at this point?
It's, 7 years?
Yeah, 2013.
That was a very long console life.
I still have my little. You got a special Xbox controller if you bought the day one edition,
where it says like day one on it.
Yeah, it says day one edition.
Nice.
Xbox.
Very cool. my Xbox has Project Scorpio on it.
Ooh. I do have an Xbox One X as well, but I did get the day one edition of the Xbox One.
Nice.
That being said, this is not for me. This Xbox Series S is not for me.
I don't know if it's for me yet. Maybe. I mean, I've made a video about it. I'm getting the PS5. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Microsoft is so more concerned with just getting you into their ecosystem. It doesn't really matter if you buy their hardware or not. They want you to just like sign up for their services.
They want Game Pass. Game Pass is their big thing. Game Pass, Xbox Live. Yeah. That's their money makers right there.
So it's like if you're subscribed to those services, which
something
I am.
Like 10 million subscribers on Game Pass currently.
It's a lot of money.
You're looking at $10 a month or $15 a month from each person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was very clear because they brought it to the PC as well. So
yeah.
I mean, it's very clear that they want to use that as a moneymaker, and Microsoft started off with PC. So
yeah,
obviously they're going to keep wanting to keep that ecosystem alive everywhere they can.
They're just going back home.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Any final thoughts, you guys?
Cam, is this selling you on an Xbox?
Yeah, you can get this at the lower price point?
I don't know, actually. I've never owned an Xbox, so this might be the first. I don't know.
What if somehow Square Enix
got an exclusive
Xbox Kingdom Hearts rights?
And then I'd probably
would that be the only thing that would make you do it?
If there was an exclusive Xbox game?
Yeah. That was
probably
integral to the story because they all are integral to the story.
I think Kingdom Hearts days of exclusivity are over because the next game is going to be like on everything.
Yeah, and like all those like collections and stuff. Let's not get too sidetracked, but all those collections and stuff are on everything now.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right. Well, we'll just have to wait and see what Xbox has in store for their Series S, aka Lockhart, and we'll bring you that news when it drops.
Thank you so much, Chadley, for co-hosting with us this week. If you'd like to check out his content, all of his links will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.